So anyway, when it's time to party, we will always party hard. So welcome back to Resident Evil, and I remember exactly what we were doing.
Yes, definitely.
And
there's been a gap.
Yeah, there hasn't been an enormous gap between recording episodes.
Oh wait.
Yeah, Matt, just eat
pause
crisps. Just like, I swear, just sit down and do a let's play. I turn my back for 1 second, and your fat ass immediately reaches for the fucking Doritos.
We've been talking bullshit for ages. Just force a habit. Also, what's weird with your game? You're going through like place. I can't see any floating sharks or any tyrants.
So, what kind of got us back in the mood to do more Resident Evil? We were watching videos about Resident Evil randomizers, and this one guy. It didn't feel very random because almost every enemy was yawn. It was
like going down the corridor. Oh, there was supposed to be 2 zombies there. No, 2 giant fucking snakes.
And one of my favourite moments was when you just saw the tongues in the distance. It's like you just hear him like audibly seething.
Also, Gemma's here, but she's got a sore throat, so she won't be talking much. Also, because she's the one we won't let her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am here. I don't think you want to hear this the whole way through.
Yeah, it's not called, super Brit siblings, is it? All right? This is a misogyny.
Yeah.
I was going to say podcast.
Look, Jake, that's a tautology. They're all misogynistic.
Yeah,
welcome to the Funky Fresh podcast. Me and Jacob will talk to LB Sigma Mouse. Step 1, give us money. Step 2, fuck off.
And now we're going to invite a bunch of OnlyFans creators on and make them feel really bad about themselves.
We're going to give you advice, which comes down to basically suck our dick. How to be so manly that you get any bitch, suck our dicks.
I watched a really horrible video yesterday. The video wasn't horribly made, but like a really sad video about this guy. It was a Nick Crowley video about this guy who was a victim of one of those like gurus, like how to pull any woman. He was just like a lonely guy in his like 40s or 50s, and eventually he just I don't know for what this was probably a lonely virgin with rage, and just eventually shot a bunch of women. So that's the. I mean, I'm not saying that these people who make these podcasts are culpable in any way. Let's not.
But you are saying they are scum.
Yeah.
Possibly not for that reason, but just in general.
They are scum, yeah. So anyway, Resident Evil 1 on well, I was going to say on GameCube, technically on PlayStation 4, but it is the GameCube version. That's the kind of insightful commentary you've come here for.
All 8 of you.
Yeah. Well, we don't do this too. Let's be honest. We do this for us. We do this for us and Chris Reynolds.
Yeah,
yes.
That's who we make this for. There's like, oh boy, our people often say their fan base. We just say fan.
Yeah.
It's like, with the fan of the show, Chris Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Our number 1 fan.
Also our only fan. Yes.
Only fan.
Yeah. Well,
He does.
That's how the podcast goes. We're going to invite Chris Reynolds on, and then make him feel really bad about himself.
Call him a whore.
And make him cry. And then somebody on Instagram Reels can edit that to a bunch of very aggressive music that somehow is meant to make us look good.
Yeah, oh my god.
You feel like a big man, scream at a woman till she cries. Look how many steroids I take. Of course I'm screaming at women. Then the next step of that is to do sex crimes, then go to prison and get bummed, and that's called the Andrew Tate adventure.
Never played that on the Mega Drive.
I just think Alex the kid, but he's got his fucking tiny stupid... You have become top G.
I just hear the Alex Kidd victory music in my head. Just you have become top G. Do 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 do.
You know that bit when in Alex the Kid, where you played rock paper scissors?
Yeah.
He just yells that he's got a Bugatti at them.
It's like sorry, Andrew Tate, but the scissors beats paper, and he's just screaming out what colour's your sports car. And I'm like, I did still beat you in 3 Janken matches, so.
It's just Andrew Tate in the enchanted Russian, Romanian prison.
Did anyone ever see the the Bugs Bunny show on HBO? It's actually amazing. There's this one line that's just like, Bugs? What are you doing in an Albanian prison? It just lives rent free in my head.
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, and Lola Bunny is just iconic in that. It's just everything that because.
Is that the one where she's like she's actually like sort of a silly person?
Yeah, she's really kind of like. She's super kooky, but she's like really, really in love with Bugs.
Yeah, she's voiced by Kristen Wiig, I think. who's a very funny woman anyway.
Every time I think back to like there's
we're gonna lose our like 1 to 2 misogynistic fans on this episode. I really like these guys, and I really like that. They really speak to me. They've never said anything sort of on the subject of gender roles or whatever, but I just get the feeling they fucking hate women just like me. And they shoot into this one like, oh man, that's another YouTube channel I can't watch anymore because it's woke.
It's gonna come out like we have to do an apology video. Like, I'm sorry, here this comes messages of us, approving of women. I'm sorry for all these years we've led you on to think that we're misogynistic, and then a bigger scam comes out when they find that we're not actually racist.
Oh God, well, no, don't fucking give that away for God's sake.
Well, their clan hoods are fucking sheets. Those liars. Yeah, we go to all the rallies. I'm a level 12 hate mage.
Hate mage!
You can just make up a title and it'll be...
I'm sure you could. And I'm sure that, they are made up, aren't they? Like, it's not a reputable organisation.
Yeah, I know.
They have to be vetted properly.
Yeah, no, but if you're having an organisation, like, you can call someone the Grand Dragon or Wizard or some shit like that.
I don't know, it depends. I mean, if the organisation, like, heavily involved Dungeons and Dragons...
Yeah.
Like, they might be called things like that.
Got a bunch of Southern people, like, after they, lynched some poor black guy, they're playing D&D under his corpse.
Just have
That's one of the only things I liked in that crappy fourth Final Destination movie, is when the... a lot of people don't like this scene because, like, death is supposed to be kind of indifferent in those movies. There's no lesson to be learned or whatever, But I like when the racist guy gets kind of, like, lynched by his own truck. Like drags, because he's gone to burn the cross with it, and it drags him through the fire, and basically his truck does a hate crime on him, which is funny to me. I imagine if you're somebody who understands those things from a historical context and everything, it's probably quite like offensive and insensitive. But I don't live in that country, and I'm white, so I don't give a shit.
But
how dare you?
And that's insensitive.
Yeah. I do like how the truck, his truck starts playing "Why Can't We Be Friends" by War whilst that's happening.
It's a funny scene. It's a dreadful film. It's absolutely the worst one, but
it's definitely the worst one.
It's a great scene though.
Yeah, and then it's because there's two characters called Carter in the series. There's one in series one, like in the first
I think that was the guy
racist.
who played Carter in the first film. I think he had some pull to be like, look, can we just have somebody worse with my character's name in this franchise? Because I'm tired of being the worst person in this fucking series. Because Carter was the worst character in the first one.
To be fair,
anyone remembers their names?
The worst character.
I watched them quite recently.
I was going to say the worst character in the Final Destination movies is probably Frankie Cheeks.
Yeah. Frankie Cheeks actually now hosts a misogynistic podcast. Interestingly enough,
comes full circle.
Taking upskirts, photographs of women.
That sounds illegal.
And then getting his brains splattered by an engine going into the back of his head.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about him in real life.
No, just the character. No. No, we don't talk about serious Hollywood controversy on this channel.
He runs a misogynistic podcast. He also takes upshot skirts. So like, okay, that sounds not like he's doing it in the film. That's boring.
Yeah.
Real life consequences. Then he got killed by a flying truck or whatever the fuck happens in those movies. Like these two like the Final Destination movies. I am dislike them to indifferent.
Yeah, I think they're.
Which I get. I it's certainly not high art, but god damn if they're not effective. People say, they're cheesy or whatever. Speaking of cheesy, actually, let's pay attention to the story for a moment, because
this is the first time we've talked about the game.
Well, yeah, but I really like this part, and I'll explain why, sort of as and when. Partly, I look like this guy now because I grew a mustache.
Big porn stash.
Yeah, I probably won't keep it. It's just a thing I'm experimenting with
Which
right
Matt
now.
expressed. Very, very seriously. He's like, "Do you have a mustache?" when it
came in, I was sitting down and the room was absolutely...
So he's been shocked. She does nothing. Look, she doesn't take cover. Enrico, take cover. You're like a fucking...
She spins him round and are you okay, Enrico?
Special tactics and rescue service. What the hell does this... What do they mean by special?
It was put together by...
Fucking check, maybe look around. Okay, I'm actually in control, sorry. But, whoever did this is definitely a professional, not... I, on the other hand, am a complete amateur. It's a goddamn miracle I wasn't just fucking brained by that sniper.
The way that they shot him while my back was turned is clearly the work of a professional. Like, well, because wasn't this put together by Wesker? Like, well, I don't want anyone too competent because they might fool my plans. Unfortunately, he's Albert Wesker, therefore an incompetent fuckwit.
Absurd.
My plan is to get stabbed.
Instead of like...
Fuck off. Sorry. But anyway, the point I was making before I wanted to make fun of that cutscene, just that thing about how I think the Final Destination movies are effective, because when I watch one, whatever I do next, if I'm going into my kitchen, I'm suddenly hyper aware of all the sharp and hot things in there. Or if I'm crossing the road, I'm just super... Obviously, you need to be aware of traffic, but like you're suddenly just looking around at other shit. Like, oh, look, that guy's doing roadworks. Let's not get very close to that.
So, like, Jacob... Like, you don't know this, but Jacob's super affected by films. So when he watched The Happening, his old sense of self... You know, he kept, like, walking into traffic, juggling knives.
Yeah. Well, I have this...
He's scared of plants for a while. Kept going, what? No! All the time.
I blinded a guy. I have this...
Wait. A Korean guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was racially motivated gang attack, as we talked about. But I had this thing, this party trick where we used to juggle sieves. But
it wasn't nearly as dangerous.
But yeah, after seeing that happening, I switched it over to knives because I had no sense of self-preservation. Nobody is going to get that sieves line.
No.
Oh, but, you know, that's so unlike us to indulge in stupid in-jokes.
Oh, no.
I love a good...
What?
I love a good crank. Now, that's not me saying I'm a chronic masturbator. What I am saying is, any game that has a crank as an item, I love them. And I think it comes down to when I learned how to...
Masturbate.
Yeah, I was taught, actually, by the vicar. When I learned how to use a narrowboat and everything, I had to adjust the locks. I used a crank for that. It was still top 10 most fun things for me.
So
some people like to jump out of airplanes. I like to use very safe boats.
So you heard it here first. Jacob likes to crank it on a boat.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I would hope you're not cranking it the way that they like a windmill. I
thought that'd be more impressive. That's why they call him the river. He's like a fucking riverboat, giant fan on the back.
I don't know. I don't think it's appropriate for you to discuss men's bodies. All right.
All right.
You know what? No penis, no opinion. That's what I'm gonna.
I do apologise.
You need to yell at her more, make her cry.
Yeah, sorry. Well, you see, we men are the more romantic ones down, but you are of the devil.
Yeah.
That's a real line I saw in one of those edits. Anyway, I'm going to stop it here and actually talk about Resident Evil in a bit, but we're going to save, which is a good place to say next time. See you next time.
Next time.